Welcome to the Tap It Up Podcast, y'all guys. Season 5's episode 12. There's a podcast. It's very much, you may be asking yourself, what's this like? If I was to compare it to something, it's very much like a radio show because you listen to it with your ears. But I'm telling you, I keep kicking around the idea of not shooting these videos anymore, but if you're watching on the YouTubes, you know that I record a video on this podcast too, and so here I am, nice and cozy and warm in my No Pro sweatshirt. I bring the snacks. You know, I'm an outdoorsman. I'm a fisherman. I actually got my No Pro fishing hat on too. But last week, if you joined me on Season 5, Episode 11 of the Tap It Up Podcast, you may recall that I said, hey, check the link in them show notes for them new hoodies. But they weren't there on last Tuesday, when the podcast came out. But by the end of the week, they is up there. Them links is there, and they there right now. What are them new hoodies, you may say, to keep my ears warm and my arms and torsos warm, and my hands, because there's a little pocket in the front for them hands, and you can keep, you know, like a Snickers bar in there, kind of thing, or you know, a little like some bacon wrapped in paper towels. Anyhow, them new ones. The hoodie is the early bird gets the perm. I'm going to be getting mine soon. And it's a different color. I think I said that last week too, but they ain't the same color as the shirts. The shirts are green. The hoodie is like charcoal gray kind of thing, dark gray, blackish. And with the white, you know, logo of the early bird gets the perm that yours truly designed for the hair shop in town. So you can check that out, but also there's the Bank Bank sweatshirts. Blue sweatshirt, got my face on, would say Bank Bank, you know, like that way. So Dims have showed up now. Dims is available to purchase if you're into staying warm and wearing Bank Bank or Early Bird Get the Perm. But me today, I'm in a No Pro sweatshirt, staying warm. We up against it. If you know anything about calendars, we 1 month pretty much done with. If you're listening to this the day it comes out this week, which is the last day in January 2023, so basically we got the merry month of 2023 one month in the books almost. So how'd it go? Me, it's going pretty good. It's busy. You know, a lot's been happening already, and then there's stuff coming up we can talk about later. Well, today, here's what's going on. We're getting into this. Firstly, I said everybody last week, send in, you know, if you got questions for the Q&A for the podcast, because at the end of every podcast season, I do question and answers, but only thing is, I don't supply the questions. Y'all guys do. And then I will answer them on episode 15. And that's in a few more episodes. And so them been coming in this week. Like, I'm thinking, boy, that's the first time I announced it, you know, was last week for this season's end of the year Q&A. And I'm telling you right now, it may be a lamb feet episode based on what's already come in this week. But keep sending them in. If you got a question, the best way to do that, there are two best ways to do that. One is you text me, 501-322-6249. You'll see that number in the show notes. And you can just say, hey, this is for the Q&A. Because folks text me throughout the year, whether it's a Q&A episode, and they ask questions. But if it's for the podcast episode, you got to let me know. You know, so that way I don't just text you back and answer like that way, and you get it and you look at your phone and you say, I meant for him to do that on the podcast, not right now, kind of thing. So just let me know in a text, and then email, tabandillard@gmail.com. That email address is in the show notes. Same thing in the subject line. They got a subject line like, what's this subject? What's this about? You put, you know, Q&A season 5 or something like that for the podcast, so I know. So that's the way to do that. Keep sending them in. And what we got going on in town, I'm telling you right now, there's a few things. Firstly, I had another T-ball game. You know, Shane Grubbs, he's coaching Tabbins Lawn Care Services T-ball team that my company, Tabbins Lawn Care Services, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend, I'm sponsoring them. But I'm also assistant coaching. I pitched in to help assistant coach. We had a game, so I got that going on. We also had, well, I didn't also have, but I took Mimo to Early Bird Gets the Perm. So there was some drama down there. Did not involve me. I did not start it. I did not finish it. But I was there because I dropped Mimo off and things went down. So I'll get to that in a minute. And then finally, between between me telling you about what happened to Early Bird Gets the Perm, just a few short moments, and me getting to the T-ball game, I had to go down to the nursing home. I was just bringing Cricket some lunch, and they had a craft day. You know, they do them crafts down there, like arts and crafts. Like, you know, you got glitter and glue, instruction paper, depending on what it is, kind of thing. I don't know if they're doing Valentine's crafts right now, because that's around the corner. But anyhow, because I couldn't tell. I didn't really see no finished product the day I was there, but that went sideways. So just a couple things went sideways with Early Bird Gets the Perm and this old nursing home craft. What didn't go sideways is a T-ball game, because they automatically sideways. You ain't expecting a lot out of them. Oh, which way is this kid going to run? Which way is that kid going to run? Are we going to win? Who cares? Who's keeping score, kind of thing. So that went exactly how planned, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But let's jump right in, y'all guys. Early Bird Gets the Perm. So Meemaw got to go down there to get her hair did, because she do that. And she let me drive her in her 91 Buick Regal down to Early Bird Gets the Perm. Now, I do have an ATV, and I got a bicycle. Truth be told, I've been driving the bicycle more lately, just because it's cheaper to drive around. I ain't got to put gas in it, nothing like that. But other thing is, when Meemaw got to go to Early Bird Gets the Perm, she ain't about to hitch a ride on my ATV. She won't do it. Too cold outside, she don't like it. She finds it a little bit embarrassing. And then same thing with my bike. She ain't about to get on the axle pegs and hold on to my shoulders. So she let me drive her down there in that 91 Buick Regal. And we get down there, and they doing this thing like the Christmas decorations are down. They gone. And then they got this sign in the window that says Winter Special. And what the Winter Special turned out to be, it's like you mix and match. What 3 things that Early Bird Gets the Perm do you want to buy for this special? And you package them, all 3. You mix and match. So you want perm, most gals want their hair did when they get down there. They do paddle cures, they do manicures, they do like facials, I think. And I don't know what that is exactly. I think they just wash your face. Truth be told, I think you could do that at home before you left, and then got something else done. Early Bird Gets the Perm. But they do these little things like that away, and you choose which 3. Well, I get down there, and I drop Meemaw off, and things going on is that Lindy Ray Mantell, she ain't on hair duty yet this year. She do the paddle cures and manicures when they have a big need, but she working at front desk. She's sweeping hair, and she also answering them phones and keeping them appointments in order, kind of thing. Well, today she brought in a plate of cookies. I guess they sugar cookies that she made, and they shaped like ladies' heads, I guess, and the icing on top is like they hairdo, like they little perm or whatever kind of thing. And so that's a little like treat that she brought for whoever come in, you know, the customers, whatever, the employees, whoever there today can do that. So she got that plate. Who cares? No big deal. There's cookies at the Perm place. Let's have at it. Well, Meemaw's down there. Her best friend Tabby Jean Tipton's down there. Her friend Claudia's down there. Meemaw's old friend. They used to overhaul boat transmissions together, and she was down there. Well, she took one of them cookies, and she took it back to that hair dryer, you know, and put that, they get that little hair dryer on they little head, they little perms, and then they just kind of sit under there and gabble. She sat down to eat that thing. Well, I guess whatever's in it, she's allergic to it. Turns out it's eggs. I wouldn't have told you. You couldn't have told me that there's eggs in the sugar. I thought it was sugar. But I guess there's the eggs in the one that Lindy Ray made, and Claudia allergic. So her throat start feeling like it's closing up. Her neck itches, her face itches, like she getting red and kind of clawing at herself kind of thing. Well, Linda Ray's back is turned to all this. Tabby Jean look over and sees something going on with Claudia, and they said, we got to get her out from under that hairdryer. Well, Tabby Jean tried to go lift her up, and she ain't got the arm strength to get Claudia out of there. So Shailene Riggs is not too far, and she pretty strong, and she get old Claudia out that thing, but they don't know what to do. Well, about that time, Lindy Ray turned around, and she just figured she's choking because she ain't talking yet kind of thing, and she's kind of like scratching her throat, so, oh, she must be choking kind of thing. Well, Lindy Ray Mantell don't know how to do the hind lack, but that she figured if somebody's choking, I got to do it. So she got around behind her, and she grabbed by the thighs, and she like push it in like this away. It's at the front of your legs, like your quadriceps. She's like hind lacking that, and they said, no, you got to go higher up. So she goes to her stomach, and she just steady grabbing that thing, and then she keep going higher. Boom, she got around her rib cage, and she just squeezing hard, and she farm girl strong. I mean, Linda Ray Mantell and Cody, her husband, he's a strong fella too. They got that little gal Daphne. Well, she's steady just like squeezing Claudia all over the place, trying to make sure she ain't choking. Well, finally, Claudia just collapsed to the floor. Like, I don't know what's going on, but they called the 911. My Meemaw did. She knowed the number, and the paramedics showed up, and they look over Claudia. Turns out she was allergic to them cookies. So what you do, if you're allergic to cookies, you stop eating it, and you drink some water. So they giving her some water, and she just settled down, and then turned out they checking her out. She got a cracked rib. Well, she didn't come to Early Bird and get to Perm with a cracked rib. Linda Ray Mantell cracked it, trying to give her a hind lac, even though she ain't trained in hind lackery, and she wasn't even choking. Claudia didn't have no cookie lodged in her throat or nothing like that away. She was itching, and she was scared. She could have talked, but she's so scared, she's just like, like this away, and clawing at herself. And Linda Ray jumped into action, and in her brain said, well, a hind lac is the cure-all. If somebody, you know how like back in yesteryear, folks would say, oh, you sick? Drink some castor oil. Oh, you feel a little dizzy? Drink castor oil. Oh, you can't jump the high jump in the track meet? Drink a little castor oil. Like it's solve everything. And I guess in Linda Ray's mind, the hind lac cures what ails you. Well, it don't. And if you don't know how to do it, you liable to crack a rib. Just ask Claudia, because that's what happened. Now, who runs Early Bird Gets the Perm? Chet Dilroy's wife, Gracie. That's Gracie Dilroy, and her sister, Delandra. Well, Delandra was there when it happened. And she's looking around like, boy, this ain't good. You know, this ain't good for business or nothing like that. And poor Claudia got hurt. And so she said, you're going to get a refund, which Claudia appreciated. I'm sure she did. But also she's going to get the whole staff trained in CPR, which ain't a bad call neither. And Gracie came in at that point too, and she said, here's your money back, you know, and Claudia's real happy about the refund, but she also got a cracked rib, and she wasn't too happy about that. So it was a regular circus down there. Early Bird Gets the Perm. And Meemaw, she didn't even take advantage of that winter special, because all she want out of that whole list of things that Early Bird Gets the Perm do is the perm. And if you're there for 3 things in one day, you can't get 3 perms. It don't work like that away. So that coupon, that little winter special deal, didn't make her no sense, but she got her hair did, and a little bit of action down there too. Meemaw, a little bit of a hero. You know, she ain't gonna toot her own horn, but she the one that mashed them 911 buttons on the telephone to get them down there to look over Claudia. You know, they friends. And so that's how that is. And Linda Ray gonna get trained in the CPR, and she just need to get trained to be able to figure out you gotta like decide what's wrong first. And she decided the wrong thing was wrong. She said, oh, she's choking. No, she wasn't. So we'll see how it goes from here on out. I think everybody's a little more, you know, on edge, head on a swivel, like, what are we doing? And then them gals were kind of complaining about her cookies. They didn't taste bad, but they're like, why are you doing like a lady's head, you know, with hair on it? You could just do like a blow dryer or a bottle of shampoo or that kind of thing, you know, that like hair stuff, a comb or a brush shaped cookie, instead of just biting into a lady's head, you know, with icing on it. But I think it's going to taste the same, but that's just some feedback Lindy Ray got. It was a day of feedback down at Early Bird Gets the Perm for Lindy Ray. But she ain't no quitter. It's one thing I know about Lindy Ray, so she'll be back with new ideas and hopefully a little more training in the hind lac. So that was that. And I had to go down to the nursing home. I just wanted to, because I knew Cricket was working a long day down there, and they had that big craft event going on. And so I brought her a number 3 combo meal from the burger shed. You know, that's bacon double cheeseburger, curly fries, Dr. Pepper. That's why I got her. You get any drink, you know, it comes with any drink, but that's the drink that I brought her. So I get down there, and they doing some kind of crap thing, okay? And Cricket's working, Rusty Tidwell's wife Caitlin, she working, her best friend Belinda working, and these gals are trying to just, in the mess hall, that's where they set up them tables, and they get all them supplies out, and so then people can glue and stick things and draw and color and do all these things that they take back and they put on their door. Well, first things first, Dewey Morton, he like original prankster kind of thing. That guy, boy, he gets into all kinds, he's just mischievous. So mischievous. He takes some super glue. He sneaked it out the mess hall, which I don't know why they got super glue for any craft. Like, these folks ain't making birdhouses, nothing like that. What they doing is just, you know, regular stuff on construction paper or stuff. It should be that regular glue, that elementary school glue. But they had for some reason or another, Dewey Morton found a little tube of super glue, took it back to his room, didn't tell nobody, and he glued a cleat to the front of his door. You know them shoes that you, if you're gonna play football or soccer or something where you gotta play on grass and it need to grip the ground kind of thing? Them cleats, he got a pair of cleats he liked to wear. I don't know why, because them hallway floors are slick. He somehow keep his balance, but and he do go outside sometime in the little grass area behind the rec room patio, but he glued cleat down to the front of the door. So if you're looking at the door, you just seeing inside the shoe of his cleat, and they glued there. So Caitlin and them girls had to get down there, and Cricket too, and pry that thing off, took a little paint off the thing, and Dewey, they said, you got to get down to the mess hall. You can't be down here sneaking out with super glue and gluing your cleat to the front of your door, Dewey. And he just snickered. He didn't say nothing. He don't say a lot. He just kind of giggled. Boy, he gets a kick out of that. And he insisted on wearing the other cleat the rest of the day. So he got one left cleat on and then a sock foot, and he clopping down to the thing, but it's not clop, it's just clip, sock kind of thing, because you don't hear nothing when the sock hit the floor. So he get down there, and then Doreen Fundle, I get into that mess hall, and I'm bringing Cricket that number 3 combo meal. She worked up an appetite already, you know, with this day at the nursing home. I put it to you like that. And Doreen Fundle's in there, and she getting all these cotton balls. I guess they got little cotton balls for the craft. Well, she says she want to make pillows for sand lizards. And they're like, well, you can try to make a little pillow here. But that wasn't a plan with Doreen. She was steady. I seen a backpack on Beer Gregory's wheelchair. And I just kind of, I get curious, especially around, I seen Doreen walk by that backpack, didn't think a lot of it, but I thought something of it. And I go over there and I look in that backpack like this away, just kind of like bang, bang. And it's full of cotton balls. Like way more cotton balls than Doreen or any of them residents supposed to have for this craft. I mean, she steady loaded up on them cotton balls, and then she hung that backpack over Beer Gregory's chair. Beer didn't know nothing about them cotton balls in that backpack of hers. She's basically a cotton ball mule, because what Doreen's plan is to have Beer Gregory get wheeled back to the rooms, and then Doreen was going to take them cotton balls and go in and make these tiny little pillows for sand lizards, she said. But she got busted, and Cricket said, "You can't be doing that. How do you think? What do you think? Captain Thunderboots is gonna think? What kind of example are you setting for Captain Thunderboots? Because that's Doreen's goldfish. She wanted a spring picnic. It's her second Captain Thunderboots goldfish, because the first one died. They had a funeral for it. And this one is her new one. And Doreen was mad at Cricket. She don't like when people bring up Captain Thunderboots into this conversation about what kind of example she been for Captain Thunderboots. But she knowed. She wouldn't want Captain Thunderboots in somebody's room stealing their things. But here's Doreen stealing more crafts than she's supposed to have, because she will make little pillows for sand lizards. And I bet you anything, I didn't do a survey or nothing, I bet not one sand lizard came to her door saying, "Hey, could you make me a pillow?" Like they ain't asking for it kind of thing. Same with Meemaw's bonnet for squirrels back in the 80s. Squirrels hate bonnets. Meemaw got a box full of them still under her bed next to the baby dolls that she rotated out, that ain't on the display shelf in the front room of her trailer. She got a lot of shelves, but she got the main shelf, the one with Rachel Christine, Baby Tish Saddles, Beatrice Gail Merton, and the whole thing, and Becky Thacker Haynes, all them gals up there. Rachel Christine's her favorite, and she'll tell them other baby dolls to her face that. But anyway, that thing with the sand lizard pillow thing, they're like, you can't do that, you can't take that many cotton balls. And so Doreen was mad all about that. And Dewey Morton, he's just having a good time. He loves seeing fights break out and arguments and all that. So, boy, he just had a ringside seat in that one cleat, just watching them, just kind of giggling. I mean, Cricket, she earned that number 3 combo meal today. And I brought one too. I brought one for myself. So I was eating down there in that mess hall too, eating that bacon double cheeseburger, curly fries, had some ketchup, and then the Dr. Pepper. And little did I know, I mean, Cricket needed that strength for the nursing home, and I was going to need that strength I was eating in for the T-ball game that night. So I get out of the nursing home and all that chaos, and I guess they got crafted up down there. I head to the T-ball fields. Well, Shane Grubbs, he coaching the whole team, and I'm just assistant coach, which basically I just kind of show up and I do what he say. If he's like, hey, tell them boys to do this, or go set the bats down over there, pick up their gloves, or whatever kind of thing. And I cheer him on, and I point which way to run. He ain't there. Turns out he's late because his little boy Perry Lee, who's on the T-ball team, he locked his daddy's keys in the truck, and they live outside of town, on 3 acres. And so the spare key to Shane's truck was with his wife Cheryl Grubbs, and we know that she helps run Donut Goes. Shane and Cheryl own Donut Goes in the house, so in town. And so down there at Donut Goes with Cheryl, without knowing, she had Shane's spare key. Actually, she did know it because she kept that spare key, and he got his own key to the truck. Who would have guessed Perry Lee was going to lock him in the truck? So he stuck out there on their property. He ain't got to ride into town to get to the T-ball game. And Cheryl can't leave the store because Donut Goes is still open, and Maisley, their daughter's down there helping her out with that thing. So he get on the ATV, and he put little Perry Lee on the back, get him a little helmet on, and they putting down the road trying to get as fast as they can into town on that ATV. Well, Jalapeno, their dog, chases them about half a mile. That thing is a mess. Ain't smarter than a doorknob, but I'll tell you right now, it can run. That thing can run. And finally, Shane just stopped the ATV, and they picked up that dog, and Perry Lee's holding Jalapeno on that ATV while they get into town to Donut Goes. Now, by the time he gets into Donut Goes, he don't need a spare key because he's already into town. He just figured, we'll sort all this out later. I'm taking Perry Lee down to the fields on ATV. Jalapeno can stay here at Donut Goes. That's a terrible idea. And then later, Cheryl just picked him up and take him home in the Chevy Cobalt that she drives. They got to keep the windows down because Jalapeno done made a mess of that car, the back seat of that car. The kids don't usually drive in it, but the thing is, if that's the only car you got that day, it's either that or you taking an ATV back, and it's been too cold to take out. So I don't know how they were going to sort all that out. But that was the Cheryl and Shane Grubb circus they had to figure out, after the T-ball game. But the big thing was, we got a game to play. Well, how do we do? I don't know. I mean, folks showed up. I will say this, Champ Tharp, he didn't make it because his folks had some late deliveries at Lady in the Trampoline where they work, and so he couldn't make it to the game at all. And then Champ wasn't there, and Brody Childress' little boy BW was there, but he brought a Star Wars toy, and it might as well not have been there. I mean, he's playing with that toy all night long, even in the outfield kind of thing. So we had them, and Perry Lee finally did show up, and guess who did show up that nobody expected? Luke Bryan Spencer. That's Delma Spencer's little boy. And she showed up, and she goes, we come into every game now, because I guess she found out that if you're a Major League Baseball player, you get $1 million. That's what she told me, and she goes, and I could use that money. So she said, he gonna be at every game. Well, she don't know nothing about, but she brought probably just about all her kids. She tried to get the wave started in the bleachers. I mean, she's real excited, and she burned hot at the beginning. She got a lot of emotion, Delma, but if she gets tired or hungry, boy, that go out the window. And then she mad or something kind of thing. So she tried to get the wave going in the T-ball bleachers. That didn't work. And then she yelling things, but she don't know nothing about the sport. So she yelling things that ain't right. She like, hit an MVP. Like, that don't make no sense, don't, but she yelling it. And she's like, steal a goal. Like, that, hit a touchdown. Like, she yelling all these things. And we like, come on. By the third inning, she was hungry and she's tired. And she pulled Luke Bryan, and they was gone. So he made it 3 innings, little Luke Bryan Spencer. And I don't know what that's going to do for his Major League Baseball career, but I can't say it speaks well of it. If he can't be there for a whole game because his mama tired and hungry and wanted to pull him out. I guess she wanted like results. I mean, she wants him to sign with the St. Louis Cardinals maybe next week or something. But he 5-year-old, and he ain't that good, and he don't usually come to practice, so it's hard for him to get better, kind of thing. So Dave's hitting the ball and running all over the place. It was all over the place. I don't know if we won, and nobody knows if we won, but do we got a lot of energy? We got an E for energy, an A+ for excitement, and BW, he was showing everybody that Star Wars toy. And the other team came up to him after the game, well, lined up. Usually they'll line up to shake hands, but they lined up to take a look at that Star Wars toy. And a couple of them just sat down right there, and he sat down too, and they played for a while. So, I mean, it was one thing to another at that. It's like, well, okay, we're missing one player. Oh, but now we got Luke Bryan Spencer. Well, now Luke Bryan's gone. Okay, now we got a Star Wars game on the field. It's over. We did it. Shane found a ride home with Cheryl, in the Chevy Cobalt. The ATV ended up being parked at Donut Goes. I hope no possum gets a hold of that seat. They get into biting it and chewing on it and that kind of thing. Stray dog will get into that thing. I don't know how that's going to go, but I was exhausted by the end of it all. I was exhausted. Being assistant coach, who would have guessed the T-ball? Because the thing is, it's not just one guy. You don't just keep your eye on the guy that's batting, because them kids will scatter. They don't matter none. I mean, you put them in a dugout, that don't mean they're going to be there 2 minutes later. So, boy, I mean, I'm getting my exercise. That's all I can say. I'm thinking about the spring softball season. You know, when Bud's Burger Shed, with Team Burger Shed, the adult softball, when I hit the fields again, I'm like, boy, I'm going to be in shape. You know, I'm going to be ready for cannonball season when my haunches stretched. How'd you do it, Tavin? What's your secret? I assistant coached the T-ball team. That's my secret. So that's how it went. I'm telling you, busy week. You know, early bird gets the perm. They trying to make good, you know, with Claudia so that she don't, you know, say bad things about them. And they took care of her. And in Lindy Ray, she can't be doing a hind leg willy-nilly. Like, you got to know what you're doing. You can't be cracking ribs. But she cracked one, and I think one's enough. So hopefully they get that handled. And if you go down to the nursing home, check the front of the doors. Most of them got little, I think, Valentine crafts now on it with cotton balls. You'll see it looked like a cleat was stuck to Dewey Morton's door because a cleat was stuck to Dewey Morton's door. So there's a lot. There's a lot, I'm telling you right now. But hey, I appreciate you joining me on Season 5, Episode 12 of the Tavin Dillard podcast. I got some reminders here before I wrap up today. One is, if you got a question for the Q&A, send it in. You'll see in the show notes today, there's going to be a few things down there. There's going to be a link to the merchandise. You'll see the new, when you click on that link, you'll see the new hoodies at the top and all my other stuff. You know, the shirts, Tavin's lawn mowing shirt, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend, all them. And then another thing that's been coming in this week is personal greetings. Folks have been asking for them. I did, you know, do a lot around the Christmas times because folks want them for gifts. But other things, you know, even in the new year, it keeps going. People asking about. So I'll put that link for that if you need one of them. And my email and my phone number is going to be down there too. So you got all of that to figure. So appreciate you. Share this podcast. Rate it if you can. And hey, if you ain't tried to steal cotton balls from the mess hall at the nursing home this week to make pillows for sand lizards and got busted, or got your rib cracked at the early bird gets the perm because you was having an allergic reaction to sugar cookies shaped like women's heads with icing for their hair, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is the Tavin Dillard podcast. Until next time, y'all guys, we'll see you later.